this is Ed Rubin. I'm a writer on art, culture, and entertainment. I do want to preface that with I love art that turns me every which way but loose. I don't want to be bored. I want my life changed. Sometimes this happens, sometimes it's not. How many interesting people do you meet a year? I do want to say that I enjoyed being on Dave's Gone By with Dave Lefkowitz, who happens to, if anybody knows, is a wonderful actor and playwright also. And this is UNC Radio.
Here on the 12th Annual Total Theater Tony Show, very, very happy to have someone who's been on a couple of our previous events, our special events on the radio here, and we love having him because not only is he smart, not only is he accomplished, not only does he see all the Broadway and off-Broadway stuff, but there's something very unique and lively and very definitely Ed Rubin-esque about it. Please welcome back to the neighborhood, Ed Rubin, who is a writer nationally and internationally. He's written for TotalTheater.com, of course, for the online magazine Artez, also New York Theater Wire and Berkshire Fine Arts and TheaterScene.com. He is a member of the Drama Desk and the Outer Critics Circle, and he's on the board of the American Theater Critics Association. My friend, my colleague, Ed Rubin. Welcome back, Ed.
Hello, I'm thrilled to be here again, and I did a little research. I do want to let your audience know that I don't consider myself a critic in any form.
Oh.
I'm a journalist and a writer, and most importantly, and this drives all of the organizations that I belong to crazy, I tell them I'm not a critic, I am an audience first. I am an audience, and it drives me crazy that so many critics aren't audiences, and they don't even clap. I see some of them, and I'm clapping for someone. They don't clap. They look stony-faced at the stage.
If it's something they liked, I mean, I've looked stony-faced at things I've hated.
Oh, well, yes, we all do, and I refuse to clap if it's awful. But I look around, and a lot of them just don't clap. You know, there's a sense of I'm a critic, and I'm not supposed to show how I think.
Well, I certainly am grateful to you for showing how you think. Hey, you're a journalist, an objective journalist, which means that the wonderful write-up that you gave my show, The Miracle of Long John's, when you came to it, is even more meaningful than your being a critic, perhaps, because you're just telling objective truth, and you're saying it's really, really funny and wonderful. So thank you.
Well, I love watching you, and I think you're one of the finest writers. You're just a fine writer and a wonderful performer. So you're a triple threat, actually.
Well, no, I can't dance, and don't ask me. What's the triple part? Oh, writer, actor.
Well, you also have a radio show.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, forgot about that.
Right.
Thanks for reminding me about that. And on this special Tony-related radio show, Ed and I are going to talk about the category of Best Leading Actress in a Play. And the nominees are Jessica Lange for Long Day's Journey into Night, Laurie Metcalf for Misery, Lupita Nyong'o for Eclipsed, Sophie Okonedo for The Crucible, and Michelle Williams in Blackbird. Ed Rubin, your thoughts on who should win, who will win, and anything else that pops into your head?
Well, I do want to say there are several things to take into consideration, and I'm not exactly a soothsayer, but we'll talk about that after, it is always, for me, what the playwright has to say. The play is the thing. Mm-hmm. And we have a lot of wonderful plays, well, almost wonderful plays. And I'm going to talk about each one and each actress and what I think. Now, Michelle Williams, she's 35 years old, and she took the Olivier Award. And, you know, she is a wonderful actress. She was nominated for playing Marilyn Monroe in My Week with Marilyn. But she's been around for quite a while. She's pretty young. And I went to see Blackbird. It's about a young girl that was, it was a woman that was molested when she was very young by a friend of the family, Jeff Daniels, and she comes back and they confront each other. It was a very painful play, She was very wonderful, and Jeff Daniels was less than wonderful, but he was adequate. He had to live up to her.
I totally disagree. I hated them both. I thought they were both overacting and schmacting to an nth degree. I found her incredibly eccentric and weird. You didn't see that?
Yes, I agree that it was eccentric and weird, and it took me a few minutes to understand the whole thing. It wasn't idiosyncratic in her choices. But I thought about what she must have gone through, and actually she was probably crazy.
The character, of course, you're talking about, yeah.
Yeah, by this point. I don't think she she has a chance in hell to win Tony.
No.
Sophie Okonedo, she's 47 years old.
You say Okonedo, I say Okonedo. Let's call the whole thing. No, just kidding. Sorry. Continue on Eclipsed.
Ironically, she was born in London. Her father is Nigerian, her mother's Jewish, and she was raised Jewish.
Yay!
So you could put her in your play.
That's right.
She won the Best Supporting Actress for film in the 2004 Hotel Rwanda, and she had a Golden Globe nomination for Tsunami, the Aftermath. And she made her debut in The Raisin in the Sun on Broadway, and she got a Drama Desk Award nomination and blah, blah, blah. And she actually won a Tony. The play itself was marvelous, thanks to Ivo, who's the director, who also is up for A View for the Bridge or something. I don't really know. He's nominated for everything. You either love him or hate him. But I think he's just quite inventive. I don't think she should have been nominated for lead actress because to me, it was all, for the most part, except for the lead guy whose name I forget, an ensemble. It was an ensemble, so they just picked her out. They just picked her. You know, there are 5 spaces they have to fill it, and sometimes they just pick someone and put him in. Laurie Metcalf in Misery, a dreadfully boring play. Now, Laurie Metcalf is a wonderful actress. She was a co-founder of Steppenwolf in Chicago. Mm-hmm. She's 60 years old, and the play was awful.
But she was said to be the best thing in it. She was the watchable part of Misery. You don't agree?
No.
Oh.
Yes, she was watchable, but she wasn't as wonderful as Kathy Bates, who had a big, heavy, solid body. She was a little more frail. There were some moments, but actually it didn't get a very good review. Either did she. I remember the critic said that her lack of shivers, it didn't.
I didn't see the production, but apparently she played it a little more humorously and a little more pathetically, that you felt more bad for her than you did for Kathy Bates, even though she is as psychotic and even though she does this terrible thing.
Well, Laurie's fame, and she's won Emmys, was for 9 years she was on Roseanne. Mm-hmm. You know, and actually she starred as Mary Tyrone in Long Day's Journey and Tonight in London in 2012.
Well, I would have loved to have seen that.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of Long Day's Journey, how about Jessica Lange as Mary Tyrone?
I'm going to get around to her.
Okay.
I'm going to get around to her. I want to talk about...
Well, you've got Lupita Nyong'o in Eclipsed, and you've also...
Lupita Nyong'o.
Nyong'o.
Nyong'o. God, I can't pronounce. I got to go to school to learn to talk this. She's 33 years old. She's studied at Yale School of Drama. She's kind of on the fast track. She won Best Supporting Actress for 12 Years of a Slave a few years ago. She happens to be the first Kenyan actress and the first Mexican actress to win an Academy Award. She's a mixture of both Kenyan and Mexican.
Okay. So we need to give her the award before Donald Trump sends her over the border?
Before he builds a wall. She'll have to climb over the wall to get it.
Right.
I don't think she also... I saw the play. I enjoyed it. I liked Dave Edgar's book better, which talked about things of what are going on in Africa. But again, I saw this as an ensemble. And I'm not that I'm a racist, but they were 4 or 5 black women, and the first act, they had accents that were... You really had to pay attention to understand it. And then a white woman came in and educated them, and their English was more understandable in the second act. But I didn't think you could tell the difference. They all were wonderful actresses. And if I remember correctly, ironically, and there was such a brouhaha about this, the Outer Critics Circle nominated 3 of them for Best Supporting Actresses or something like, or Best Lead Actresses.
And didn't one of the awards do an ensemble award for the whole Eclipse cast? I'm not sure, but I think one of them might have.
I'm not sure, but I think they should have. We didn't get to Jessica Lange. She's the last one, right?
Yeah.
Jessica Lange is a kind of a godsend. First of all, she has quite a history. She has a child by Baryshnikov, 2 children by Shepard. That already gives her a street cred. She's 6.
Wait. How does that give her street cred of having children by very famous, good-looking men? It's like, okay.
Well, because everybody wishes that it was them.
Oh. Well.
I'll tell you why. She's 67 years old. She's been around a long time. She's 20 years older than everybody. There's always been a difficulty for a Hollywood actress to come to New York and not get crucified. In the last 10 years, they've been more kind, but they used to be attacked them all the time.
I remember seeing her about a decade or so ago when she was doing A Streetcar Named Desire. She was Blanche Dubois.
1992 she did that.
Was that long ago?
Yes, yeah.
Wow.
She won a Theatre World Award for that, and she was nominated for Outer Critics.
But I remember that most of the critics attacked, to some level, not viciously,
right,
but attacked her and they said, oh, you couldn't hear her beyond the fifth row. She still had a movie voice. She hadn't developed her theater voice and projection. And when I went to see her in the streetcar, and I was sitting somewhere in row 12 or 15, I heard every word. I thought she was superb, and I thought she got short-shrifted, maybe because she was a movie star, and they had the knives out for her. But I thought she was terrific back then.
She was also on Broadway in 2005 in The Glass Menagerie.
That I don't even remember, but you're right, yeah.
So she's been around for quite a while. Obviously, she's going to get the Tony that she is a shoo-in. She's just marvelous in this role. And I saw it the last time I saw it was with Vanessa Redgrave, who is the most daring actress, stage actress, because she's almost like a loose cannon. She's the only actress, by the way, who will not discuss one iota of her technique or how she prepares for a role, which I respect. But when I saw her Mary Tyrone first opening night, she's clawing the walls and playing with her hair.
Yeah, I didn't like her at all. I saw that Long Day's Journey and was not impressed. And I will say, and I always say this, I'm biased against Vanessa Redgrave because of offstage, how she uses her mouth. But I should probably rephrase that.
That doesn't bother me because I think both Palestine and Israel, they're all crazy, and I'm not fond of mankind in general.
There's the Ed Rubin I love. Okay, yeah.
I won't get into that.
No, please.
However, the second time I saw Long Day's Journey in Tonight, Vanessa modulated, and she didn't play with her hair as much. And I'm sure it's in the script, she's always playing with her hair. Jessica played with her hair, but very little. Now,
where's the actress who plays with her pubic hair? That would be an interesting performance.
Right. Well, she died. She caught a deadly disease. But you ask why she's a name. By the way, she's beautiful. I sat next to her at the Outer Critics Circle Awards last week. We were rubbing shoulders. We had a slight chat. She's very, very attractive. I think she's a wonderful actress. I remember her nominated for Academy Award for the Frances Farmer story, a play that I produced here in New York in 1985.
Whoa.
But she's going to get it. If she doesn't get it, it's kind of an upset.
Now, can I ask you, were there any people that you wish had been in this category that were left out in leading actress in a play?
Not on Broadway. The irony of it is, and this is disgusting, I even hate to bring it up.
Oh, you go ahead, Ed.
But the New York Times, Brent Brantley, they asked him, well, who should have been nominated? Well, he said Nina Arianda in Fool for Love. No way should she have been nominated. And worse, Linda Lavin in Our Mother's Brief Affair. Now, mind you, I liked Linda Lavin very much because she's very Brooklyn, or very New York for me. But she's always the same. She's Linda Lavin.
Right.
Yeah. Isherwood, on the other hand, thought Cecily Tyson in The Gin Game. And I don't think at all. Actually, I didn't enjoy the play. And I didn't even enjoy it when I saw it with Jessica Tanti and Hume Cronin. It's an acting exercise, as is Blackbirds. When you get two actors, and by the way, ironically, Jessica Lange was accused by Brantley of acting. She was acting. Now, I'm sure you as an actor and a director and whatever, and I know what acting is, and sometimes I see someone and I say they're acting.
Right, yeah. They call that schmacting nowadays. When you're indicating and you're kind of, there's artifice going on.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you the two people that I thought were wonderful. This is a crazy one.
Oh, here we go.
Richard Thomas was in an Enemy of the People. It was an MTC revival. I thought I saw it this last year. I was looking it up at maybe 2012. I hope not, because 4 years disappeared out of my life.
Well, wait. Enemy of the People. So he can't really be nominated now, especially not for actress in a play.
But I will tell you who my favorite performance last year, and it was off Broadway, by Deidre O'Connell.
Oh, She's been around for a long time, yeah.
Been around forever. She's not a household name. She was in this play that originated out of Steppenwolf in Chicago, and it got so-so reviews. She came here, and she opened it as a Labyrinth Theater Company in Bank Street. The Way West, she was wonderful in this play. She plays a mother going broke, actually has no money. She has 2 daughters. But essentially she's telling stories about our lives and how we came to be. And I was mesmerized.
Oh, lovely.
I get the press sometimes because I say, here is an actress, why isn't she... Now, Broadway is not the end-all, and between you and me, the best things I've seen have been off Broadway.
So before I let you go, Ed, name 1 or 2 things that you saw off Broadway, besides The Way West, this past season that you really loved and maybe would hope more people would have seen.
I haven't seen much off Broadway due to the fire and explosion in the East Village last year that turned my life upside down, but I did see some off Broadway stuff.
Okay.
I loved the David Bowie
Lazarus.
And I was surprised that he wasn't the guy, Michael Hall. And I just love that immensely. 2 days ago, I saw Hadestown, it's a musical.
I'm hearing some good things about that.
But before we go, I'd love to say something about Frank Langella and Father.
The Father, and not the Strindberg Father, but a new play about Alzheimer's, yeah.
And Gabriel Byrne.
Yeah.
I think it's between both of them, and it's a really hard pick. Mind you, I saw the original Long Day's Journey, and tonight I was a baby, and they didn't want to let me in. My aunt took me, and she was very formidable, arguing with the manager, and I got to see it with Frederick March, his wife Florence Eldridge, Bradford Dillman, and Jason Robards, and I measure everything against this. I could come out of a musical and say it's not Long Tonight,
yeah.
And it's just like everything in New York for the whole last year has been, say, it's not Hamilton, which... by the way, is truly a wondrous play. It's the only play that I've ever seen that had so much exposition that didn't come across as exposition. But Frank Langella, he wrote his autobiography last year. Of course, he was a hot stud, which he reminded us on every page.
Right.
He was very coy. There were some very undercover things. He may have slept with some men that wanted him, which some reviewers of the book picked up, but he never elaborated on. He gives a wonderful performance in this. Sometimes when you look at an actor and they're doing a wonderful performance and you know he's enjoying it, although he gave a speech receiving the Best Actor for Out of Critics Circle last week, he brought everybody to tears. He said, I got up, I was 21 years old, I had black hair, I was in great shape, I was going to get this award, and I walked into Sardi's and all of a sudden I was 78, out of shape and bald. But he does a wonderful performance, but the play is really kind of underrated because it's very confusing because you are going through the mind of someone that's losing their mind.
Right.
And so the audience was quite confused about that. His performance was wonderful.
Okay.
He's going to run away with it. However, the Long Day's Journey guy, Gabriel Byrne, was quite wonderful, as was his son, both sons. So that's the story. I think we had a pretty good season this year. My best musical was Bright Star. I loved it.
Well, you're not counting Hamilton because it was last year for you?
It was last year. When I saw Hamilton, I thought I'd die and go to heaven. And I ran home and did the research. I said, I wanted to see how faithfully they covered Hamilton's life. And they covered every big topic. I couldn't believe it.
Well, we've covered a lot of topics here with our great friend of the neighborhood, Ed Rubin. Remember to go looking for him. There's so many different places to find them on the web. There's Artes magazine, there's Berkshire Fine Arts, there's also, of course, TotalTheater.com. So definitely go searching for his reviews or his journalistic writings about theater and entertainment. Ed Rubin, always a pleasure and a delight.
My pleasure, David, and have a wonderful, wonderful day. And let me send love and good wishes to Total Theater.
Thank you, sir. Have a great one.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.